Welcome to People Like You. Love East Bay, a community outreach program, has united churches in serving the Bay Area for almost 10 years. Love East Bay Director Janet Lee Royal is here today to share her vision of the ministry and how you can get involved, so don't go away.
The Holy Spirit just laid things on people's hearts that we hadn't tried before, and it just created an awesomeness that one or two individuals couldn't do, one or two churches couldn't do. One person makes just such a huge difference. And so I just really want to encourage people, if you haven't been a part of this, please do so. It changes your life. It really does. It opens your eyes to the opportunities. It opens your eyes to ways that you can love and serve other people. And so I encourage everybody, every church, to become involved in this. And together we can change our communities.
Welcome back. Janet Lee Royal, Director of Love East Bay, has been at the forefront of joining Bay Area churches together in serving their communities. Janet is here with us today to share her vision for this ministry. I so love having you here.
Thank you, Debbie.
So tell us about Love East Bay.
Love East Bay is a group of churches and organizations that comes together to do acts of service in the community, a way for us to kind of put hands on Jesus and show his love to others.
How many communities are served to date through this program?
Actually, in our area of East Bay, the Oakland, San Leandro, Castro Valley, Hayward area, pretty much all of the communities throughout that area have had some sort of service work done. So we've incorporated churches not only from those areas, but we're expanding to Richmond and Berkeley, just really having an impact throughout that area of the East Bay.
Well, what are the services? Tell me how you're impacting the community. I mean, who can be involved in terms of receiving?
It's amazing because it isn't just churches anymore. It became nonprofit organizations, and now it's community members. So people are getting excited about what we're doing, and they're saying, hey, you know, I don't belong to a church, but can I come and join you? So we've been doing things like there's a park in Oakland that was really run down. There were a lot of gangs, and we went in and we cleaned up the graffiti and mowed the lawn and pulled the weeds, and within about half an hour community members had come and they were joining in on that.
Really?
And that's been a number of years, and to this day that park is still used by families, and they kind of took it back. So we're impacting neighborhoods, and the community members are just excited about it, and they're getting involved as well.
And feeding programs? Are there food programs?
The only food program that we're doing right now is we do homeless bags, and so we put those together, and then a group goes out and distributes them to different areas in the Bay Area that have homeless people living there.
Right.
And so they're able to get, you know, sometimes this year we did socks and hats, and we had not done that before, so they have something to make them feel warm and clean, and food items, and so it's really been an amazing opportunity to bless them like that.
So everything you do is basically in your title. You are loving the East Bay serving.
We are loving the East Bay, yes.
Give me some other ideas of ways you were doing that in other cities. What's going on in Hayward?
Okay, in Hayward, we did unincorporated Hayward, and we went in and we picked a certain street and cleaned the street, rented a dumpster, and cleaned in front of homes, businesses. You know, people had couches out at the streets, and it was just kind of run down, weeded, just filled the dumpster with things that make people say, hey, you know, you care about us and you care about our neighborhood.
Yes.
So things like that. One of the ones that just really touched my heart this time is at the rescue mission in Richmond. We made baskets for the children, with a bunch of items, you know, baseball mitts and baseballs and coloring books and things like that, and went and blessed those children with those baskets, things that, you know, they're in adverse circumstances and things that they normally wouldn't receive or that their folks couldn't afford to buy for them. And so we were able to bless them with that, and that was really, really a neat thing.
I would guess it would be. So they were totally surprised.
Totally surprised. Yep, they didn't know that it was coming.
So when you handed these baskets, did they think they had to give them back? I mean, what was the response?
No, it was explained to them.
They knew this was theirs to keep.
One of the directors knew that it was explained to them that it was theirs to keep.
So they could take it when they left the rescue mission.
Yes.
That is so cool. When you say we do this, who does that represent?
Well, the we is, I have to say, being here is very humbling because you're calling me the director. I'm kind of the one with the skin on, but this isn't me at all. And it's interesting too because you mentioned we've been doing this for almost a decade. This is the first time I've directed it. I've had a very background role for the first few years. I wasn't even involved. I didn't even participate. And then I started kind of joining in, and then over time my role has kind of increased. And so this year has been a blessing beyond measure because the synergy and the excitement of the other churches and nonprofits that have been involved. I've just kind of sat back and watched all this, and I use the term director loosely because God was the director and I just had the privilege of being along for the ride because it's just been amazing. So it's a team that comes together and comes up with the ideas, and the Holy Spirit just laid things on people's hearts that we hadn't tried before, and it just created an awesomeness that one or two individuals couldn't do, one or two churches couldn't do. And so it's just, the ideas just flow, and the Spirit was just so prevalent in the preparation. Even the day of, it had been raining and raining, and we prayed and the rain stopped the morning of, and it didn't rain the whole day.
Okay, and we're talking about the Love East Bay event that occurred this past spring.
Yes.
And that is going to be an annual?
It is every April and every October.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
You talked about results, like this recovery in a park in a neighborhood for families, which is
huge.
Huge, because it becomes a gang hangout. When the families leave, that becomes a really bad area for the community.
Right.
So that's one. When we get back, can you talk about some more ways?
I would love to.
Okay, great. More when we return, so don't go away.
For the future, what we want to do is just keep being bigger and have more of an impact. Every community has a different need. And so when these churches from different communities come together, then you come up with a lot of different ideas. And that's when I just feel like the Lord just opens doors and people's lives are changed. One person makes just such a huge difference. And so I just really want to encourage people, if you haven't been a part of this, please do so.
We're back with Janet Lee Royal, Director of Love East Bay. And what are some of the other results from this organization's attempt?
This April, when we did the Spring Serve, to me what was just absolutely amazing was we met in a park and did a barbecue and just fixed food for people, had a skateboard clinic, a bicycle clinic where we repaired bicycles, and a basketball clinic. And so we kind of just took over that park and that whole area of the community. And as a result of that, about 10 people received Christ. And it was just awesome and amazing. I mean, these people's lives are being changed and we're connecting them with churches. But people were just astounded of, why would you want to fix my skateboard? Why would you want to fix my bike? Why would you want to feed me? And at one time there were about 40 people in line waiting for food because they just felt comfortable accepting. I wouldn't always take free food from people. And they were comfortable accepting this food because we had a big Love East Bay banner and we told them who we were and what we were doing. And so it was just amazing to see the results, that when we come together like that we can change a community. And now we have a relationship with this park and the youth center that's located at that park that we didn't have before. And some other events are coming from that, and some connections are being made, and I can just see the power of the Lord moving because of this. And it's just amazing because it's one day of service in the spring, but it's eternal results, and it's creating other opportunities for the churches to come together and to support these community ministries, and just to really partner with them with like this youth center that we didn't have a relationship with before, and now we do. And so it's just amazing how it's impacting communities.
So the goal is basically to come up with a myriad of ways to show the communities around your churches that you love them, care for them. You talked about some of the people in line were surprised you would want to feed them. Are these community members? Who did you feed? Who was in the line? What was the demographic of the individuals at this particular event?
Okay, the demographics were local businesses that were in that area. One of the pastors just walked around and went into the barber shop and went into the mini market and said, hey, we're feeding, we're part of Love East Bay, we're doing this just because we want to show Christ's love, so come on over and eat. And they did. He would see them in line. It was kids who had come to the park to skateboard. We had advertised the bicycle clinic You know, if you have a broken bike, come and bring it and we'll fix it for you or give you a new used bike. And so they would just come with hesitant expectations, and then they would just be blessed because we really were delivering on what we said we would.
Right.
So it was a whole, all the demographics, some business owners, some workers, some community people. Yes, families were walking over because it's in a neighborhood with homes.
What
so
are
it kind
you
of
doing?
covered, yeah, it kind of covered the whole gamut. So it was really fascinating.
This started in the San Leandro area.
This started in San Leandro. That's correct. About 10 years ago. And then we kind of felt like we were putting God in a box and it didn't need to just be San Leandro. And so we opened it up and other churches started becoming involved and then of course wanted to do ministries in their area. And so it has just continued to spread. So now we've incorporated Richmond and Berkeley. We had a church from Berkeley this year, which was the first time. And people are excited and they want to participate in Love East Bay, but then they also want to take what they learned and the ideas they got and take them back to their church and their community. And so it's contagious.
That's fantastic. And you actually now are involved also with Transforming the Bay with Christ.
We are.
And so how has that worked?
Transforming the Bay with Christ does not step in and do the ministry with us, but they are facilitators for bringing us with other organizations that are doing similar things. So we've just made connections and found out maybe different ways to do things, better ways to do things, and we have received a number of ideas and encouragement from other organizations who are doing similar things. And so it's, you know, you never like to think you're the only one that's doing something, and when you find out other organizations, other churches are doing what your heart's desire is to do, it gives you energy, it really does.
Yes.
And so Transforming the Bay is just a catalyst to bring these groups together and say, hey, you know, you guys can all learn from each other, you can be praying for each other, you can be supporting each other. And so that's where Transforming the Bay is just really an integral part of this, and it's really an encouragement to all of us.
Some may say, why don't you just leave it to community groups that are already putting programs together? Tell us the difference, the uniqueness.
The uniqueness is we offer hope. We offer hope in Jesus Christ. Yeah. Imagine putting together something like this and just asking the Lord to just bless it, and at the day's end you find out that 10 people received Christ. There are no words for the encouragement you receive, for, you know, it's like we're the servants and he's saying, well done. I mean, just to feel his pleasure is just phenomenal. And what the community organizations that you mentioned do is fantastic. You know, the communities would be in trouble without them. But we don't want to just meet the physical needs. We want to be able to meet the spiritual and eternal needs as well. And so we get to do that through Love East Bay.
And it's biblical.
It's biblical.
To serve others.
It's a great commission ministry.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. What do you anticipate for the future?
We were so overwhelmed since we partnered with Transforming the Bay through the publicity that we received, through your amazing television station that just, we got so many phone calls after you ran the commercial for Love East Bay, that it has just, it has kind of gotten a life of its own now. And so it's growing to over 20 churches and nonprofits.
Wow.
And people are saying, you know, we couldn't do it this time, but next time make sure we're involved. So we're very much growing. And for the future, what we want to do is just keep being bigger and have more of an impact. For example, right now we're kind of focused on the San Leandro and the outlying cities, but we want to start another one that does the same day, but the headquarters is not driving all the way to San Leandro, but staying in the Berkeley area, staying in the Richmond area, you know, going down to the San Jose area. And so we're ministering the same day, we're serving the same day, but it's different pockets throughout the East Bay. That's probably our greatest goal right now.
Well, let's talk about that more when we come back, because maybe we can help.
Sounds
maybe
great.
Somebody's watching and they want to participate another way.
Great.
And, you know, someone may know how to repair bikes over in San Jose. So find out how you can get involved in serving your community with Love East Bay when we return. Stay with us.
people take it beyond just the boundaries of serving, one Saturday in April and one Saturday in October, and they personalize it to how they can impact the community themselves. It changes your life. It really does. It opens your eyes to the opportunities. It opens your eyes to ways that you can love and serve other people. And so I encourage everybody, every church, to become involved in this. And together we can change our communities.
Welcome back. Okay, Janet, so now we've got our work cut out for us, right? Because we need to expand this beyond.
We do.
Okay, so we need to find host churches or ministry organizations in the San Jose area, for instance, in Berkeley, and then what about Santa Rosa and
Definitely.
And like Contra Costa County.
Definitely.
And all of those areas. And then you talked about repairing bikes. I think that is so cool. That also brings some other ideas. Maybe people need other things repaired, or so you're looking for ideas too, is what I'm guessing.
We're looking for ideas too.
Someone said, I can repair bikes, let's do
Right.
this. So you're looking for ideas, and you kind of get together and have a think tank, and then in that area you launch that particular program.
That's exactly right. One of the ideas that was brought to our attention was that some of the seniors in senior homes don't get the batteries changed in their smoke detectors or their mattresses turned. So we go into senior homes and we do that for them. The whole bike clinic came from the fact that there are so many kids nowadays who are living at the poverty level and also maybe don't have a dad or an older brother in the home that either can fix their bike or know how to fix their bike. And so that kind of stemmed from that, is how can we meet the needs of the kids in the community? And so I like your word think tank, because that's really what it is, of just coming together, and you come up with so many ideas because every community has a different need. And so when these churches from different communities come together, then you come up with a lot of different ideas. And that's when I just feel like the Lord just opens doors and people's lives are changed.
And I got to participate this last time, actually on setup day, because the next day I was actually involved in another outreach, but setup day. First of all, everybody was so friendly at your church.
Everybody was excited,
It was
weren't
so
they?
fun.
It was fun.
They were.
It was fun.
No task was too large or too small. And I just remember it looked like a very happy environment. All these toys that were collected for the kids, all these bright colors and these useful toys, toothbrushes, soap. We got to contribute some things to it. It was really a unique experience, and such love. There were caps. There were baseball caps that were donated to hand out. So I wasn't there to actually see the exchange, but I'm going to guess there were some pretty bright faces and people actually saying, this is for me. This is amazing. I don't owe you anything.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. People too often are cynical and think that if they're given something, there's strings attached, and they're just given it with no strings, and their lives are blessed because of it. And so it's neat to watch them receive it, and it's just awesome to be able to be one of the givers. And so it's really cool. And the energy and the happiness that you said was there Friday night just spilled over into Saturday, and the whole day was that way. It was just phenomenal.
And it does, being a giver is an important piece as well. And do you have a story of anyone that enjoyed that experience?
One of the most amazing stories is there was a young man who was heading up the skateboard clinic, and he had never participated in Love East Bay before and was kind of going, what is this? What's a skateboard clinic? And basically what it is he repaired skateboards, tightened the wheels and things like that, because kids don't always have the tools, adults don't always have the tools. And then he created relationships just by skateboarding with them, teaching them tricks and just hanging out with them, and that's what it was all about. And because of that, he wants to start every few Saturdays just buying pizza, going back to that skateboard park and just hanging out with the young people and just creating a relationship with them. And that's what Sharing Christ is all about, creating relationship. And so that's what I meant about this being contagious, is people take it beyond just the boundaries of serving, one Saturday in April and one Saturday in October. and they personalize it to how they can impact the community themselves. And that's what's so awesome and amazing about it.
And you do need help. You do need volunteers. You need more people. Carry tables and the whole thing. We need more folks.
Definitely.
So, you know, information at the end of the program on how to get involved.
The more people that help, the more opportunities we have to serve.
Yes. Is there anything else you'd like to add?
It is something that if anyone is wondering, how could I be a part of this, or how could just one person make a difference? You can. One person makes just such a huge difference. And so I just really want to encourage people, if you haven't been a part of this, please do so. There's an October serve, and it changes your life. It really does. It opens your eyes to the opportunities. It opens your eyes to ways that you can love and serve other people. And so I encourage everybody, every church, to become involved in this. And together we can change our communities.
And if they're not available that day to be part, they can donate ahead. They can provide provisions.
They can be praying the day of.
They can be praying. They can toothbrushes, food, whatever you need. There's obviously usually a list. There's limitless opportunities to get involved.
Yes.
Well, we appreciate all that you do. I enjoyed being a part of that experience.
Well, it was wonderful having you
fun.
there.
It was nice. And just knowing that people were going to hear the name of Christ the next day in a positive way, in a loving way, in an environment where they might not otherwise. You know, when you were at the park that day and 10 people received Christ, it's very possible those 10 people would not have received Christ that day in any other way, and how God used that for His purpose. So making ourselves available, sometimes when it isn't convenient or it doesn't make sense, can change a life.
Stepping outside the walls of our church and our churches and going out into the community, I think, makes all the difference.
And I like the idea of loving East Bay, loving Northern California and beyond.
Yep, definitely.
So thanks for being here today with us.
Thank you.
For more information about Love East Bay and how you or your church can get involved, visit loveeastbay.org or ktln.tv. Remember that KTLN is a donor-supported ministry, and programs like this one are made possible through your support. Thanks for being with us, and join us again next week.